Brothers y brothercitas, ¿se acuerdan de Nick Shirley? Este chavito como de 20, 21 años, periodista que descubrió el fraude en Minnesota, billones de dólares con los guarderías falsas. ¿Se acuerdan del Learning Center en vez del Learning Center? Learning Center se hizo famoso gracias a Nick Shirley, brothers. Y bueno, pues gracias a él, todo este fraude en Minnesota quedó descubierto. Luego vino aquí a California y también descubrió lo de los hospices. También empezaron a investigar gracias a él. Y de repente, brothers, se le ocurrió de la nada, nadie sabía, hasta hoy yo me enteré, de hecho nadie se había enterado porque acaba de salir hoy el video. Está a punto, o no sé si esté, o ya no, o no sé qué está pasando, pero está en Cuba y está a punto de ser secuestrado. Lo único que salió fue este video y dice que está tratando de buscar la salida porque no lo dejan salir de Cuba, lo están espiando, lo están siguiendo, no dejan que haga nada y le quitaron todo su equipo para poder pues tomar video, y porque él iba como periodista a Cuba para mostrarle a los chavos de ahora, que están bien pentontos, lo tonto y lo inútil y lo malo que es el socialismo para los países. Y por eso ahora ya nos dejan salir. Chequen esto, brothers.
So we get out and we go start to make the video asking Cubans about life in communism, showing what's going on with the blockade, showing kind of the downfall of Cuba. One sec, I'm working on getting this out.
Ahí está todo preocupado y dice, un segundo, estoy trabajando, tratando de salir, de que nos salgamos de aquí.
Right now, we're currently planning our escape route out of Cuba right now, so had to respond to take a message to get out of here somehow. And right now, it is currently 9:30, and we have Cuban intelligence down in the lobby of the hotel right now, working to essentially try to round us up and potentially imprison us or make it so we cannot leave Cuba. So right now we're coming with a game plan to escape Cuba. All right, depending when this comes out or if it does, we are currently being tailed by Cuban intelligence here in Havana, Cuba. I came here, I've been wanting to make a video for so long about life in communism and showing people what communism is like in a place like Cuba, for instance. Came here to make this video, and when people think about communism, they typically just think about how communism is supposed to make everything equal, whether it be the amount of money someone makes or how food's distributed and how the markets are then controlled by the government. However, something that people do not think about, including myself, is how in communism they do not have freedom of speech, they don't have freedom of press, and therefore...
Fíjese cómo lo que dijo ahí, que él tenía muchas ganas de hacer un video dentro de un país que tuviera socialismo para mostrarlo. Dice, y algo que yo no sabía, ni siquiera él dice, ni siquiera yo, porque no les enseñan en las escuelas, es que el socialismo no tiene libertad de expresión. Es más, obviamente todos lo sabemos, pero aquí en las escuelas en Estados Unidos no les enseñan eso. ¿Cuántas personas han sido desvividas porque hablan en contra del socialismo o exponen lo que pasa? ¡Un chorro, güey! Y si no los meten a la cárcel y los deshacen mentalmente, los torturan hasta que los desviven o salen locos. Es terrible, brothers. Bueno, pues a ellos, chavitos, Gen Zs, no les dicen. Ellos nada más les enseñan, los adoctrinan en las escuelas y les dicen que el socialismo es muy bueno, que es igualdad para todos, que los ricos no existen y que la chitola... Brothers, si el rico no existe, no hay trabajos, no hay empleos, no hay desarrollo, no. O sea, el rico es rico porque crea empleos, crea compañías que generan bienes que ayudan a la comunidad. Ese es el capitalismo. El socialismo es todos iguales, pues nadie genera nada. Nadie genera nada y todos se mueren de hambre. Punto, final. No hay libertad de expresión, desviven gente, hay prisioneros políticos. No sé por qué los chavos de ahora están tan inclinados al socialismo. Obviamente sí sé, ¿para qué me hago, güey? Están tratando de destruir a Estados Unidos, igual que a muchos países. El globalismo, les meten la ideología desde las escuelas chicas, desde que son niños, para tratar de que convencerlos de que el socialismo es bueno, empujen para el socialismo, como en Nueva York, como lo quieren hacer aquí en Los Ángeles, y en todos lados para destruir al país más poderoso del mundo. Y si Estados Unidos cae, el mundo entero caerá, porque ahorita lo que mantiene al mundo y a las culturas y de hecho la soberanía de algunos países, nosotros, el capitalismo gringo, caray.
They want to make sure everything that is posted or out in the world about their country is filtered or censored. So I go out at the airport, they seize all of my cameras, they seize both my GoPros, my Meta glasses, these are not my Meta glasses, all my microphones. However, the only thing they don't take is my iPhone camera. That's what I'm filming this on right now. They don't take my iPhone camera, and somehow they didn't get this microphone that was in the very, very bottom of my backpack. The buildings are like crumbling essentially. All the university is destroyed, the University of Cuba. There's hardly any food out for the people, and just the mass poverty that's taking place, and asking people about things such as communism, what life is like in Cuba. Well, when we're doing one interview near a hospital where there's a huge line outside the hospital, because here the hospitals aren't even working essentially. The lines are taking forever, and with their hospital and the government controlling the hospital, that also affects the power. So right now you currently have surgeons doing operations with flashlights because there's no power inside of the hotel in the hospitals. Anyways, we're filming this video, and when we're next to the hospital, we see undercover cop roll up on us, and my security guards that are with me, they detected him, and then all of a sudden there's another one. So we hopped back in another taxi, we left the scene, and we thought we were good. They didn't tell us, and we left. But since we left the airport, we had been getting tailed, or the word had gotten out that there was a journalist inside of Cuba. There's only 2 flights that come in here every single day. So it wasn't hard to spot out who the journalist was, and that's what my tourist visa said. That's what my visa said. It said for journalistic activities. So you can come here. There's 12 categories in which you can come, and journalist activities is one of those. So therefore, that is why I came. And right now it is currently 9:30, and we have Cuban intelligence down in the lobby of the hotel right now, working to essentially try to round us up and potentially imprison us or make it so we cannot leave Cuba. So right now we're coming with a game plan to escape Cuba. We're about 1.5 miles away from the U.S. Embassy right now, which could be our possible way out of this situation by going to the embassy. However, that does not stop Cubans from stopping us before we get to the embassy. It's about 1.5 miles away, so we have to make it to the embassy. And right now there's 3 essentially Cuban spies down at the bottom of our hotel right now, and we have to figure out how we're going to escape. We're trying to get a hold of the embassy right now and see if we can stay there overnight, and then buy our airplane ticket last minute so that doesn't pull off any red flags to the Cuban government before we arrive to the airport. All I was doing today was asking people about the current situation, asked a few people about communism, and that's when it really got bad. It was when this evening I left the hotel around 5 before sunset to go out, and the idea was we were going to go walk the streets of Cuba at night and show all the power shortage and how the lights get cut out and people don't have electricity at night. So we had planned to walk around the streets after the sun went down, and so I was conducting some interviews before the sun went down, and I asked a man about communism, and that's when we realized that the Cuban intelligence was at the hotel, because as soon as we walked out and I interviewed this man, we had a lady come up when I started talking about communism, and she started recording on the back. And we confronted her and said, "Hey, what are you doing?" And she's like, "Oh, I'm not taking a photo." She said she's on a phone call, but her phone was open to the photo. And so one of my security guards stayed with me, the other went and followed her from behind, and he tracked her down, and she ended up noticing him as well, and she went to another Cuban intelligence spy, and then they came to the hotel lobby. And before that, when we were eating lunch today, after we had gotten through customs at the airport, after they had seized all my stuff, my GoPros and my meta glasses and all my microphones, another man was at the hotel, and he was all by himself. And then this evening he was with the 2 Cuban spies in the lobby. So right now we are trying to plan our escape route. We have a few options. The main one is to leave here and then go play taxi tag, as far as hopping in another taxi to make sure we aren't getting trailed by them, and then make our way to the embassy, and then from the embassy buy our flight around 7 a.m., make it to the airport at 8 a.m., hop on our flight 8:30, and then be out of Cuba. The other options are we stay here in our hotel and hope they don't come and round us up in the middle of the night. Communism. You cannot speak out against communism when you live inside a communist country. Last time that happened in 2021 here in Cuba, lots of people were arrested, and it was not good. And the other times that happened were, I believe, like the 1960s. So communism does not allow the truth to be told. In fact, it just censors what people can do. And right now they are literally trying to kidnap and detain me and my 2 security guards that are here with me right now from leaving Cuba, and we're trying to do everything we can to somehow do something with this footage. And so if this video does make it out into the world, I have either been kidnapped or I am safe. If it's after May 1st, I am not kidnapped. But if the video is alright, I'm not.
Brothers, ahí termina. Pobre Nick Shirley, pero ¿a quién se le ocurre ir a Cuba a transmitir o a grabar o a hacer una investigación acerca de lo malo del socialismo, güey? O sea, es lo que tratan de ocultar, pero precisamente ahí está el problema. Como no les dicen y están no tienen ni idea estos chavitos de lo que es el socialismo, lo andan empujando, andan apoyando y andan gritando. Esto es el socialismo, o sea, la falta de inteligencia también aquí en Estados Unidos está cañona, brothers. La ignorancia, la falta de inteligencia, estos chavitos están bien pentontos, o sea, nada más con ver a los cubanos, con platicar con un venezolano, con platicar con un ruso, con un chino, o sea, pero ayúdenos, compartan esto, por favor, ojalá él esté bien, les voy a decir qué pasa, voy a investigar a ver si ya llegó, qué hizo, dónde está. Les dejaré saber, brothers, pero compartan este video, es importante que sus hijos, los amigos de sus hijos lo vean, porque el socialismo no es un juego, brothers, es lo que extermina la vida y la existencia de muchos países. Suscríbanse, compartan, los amo.